Hi everyone, it's Chef Steve and welcome to Steve Cooks Stuff. Today we're talking eggplant. Kind of my own riff on an eggplant parm. It's evolved over the years. I call it the eggplant bake. And so I'm going to show you start to finish how to make this dish today. It's pretty fast, it's pretty simple. I've been doing it for years, and I hope you enjoy. So in this bowl here, I've got 3 eggs and a 1/4 cup of white wine. I've got that whipped together. I'll add just for a little extra flavor right now, I've got this Kinder's, it's a lemon, butter, garlic seasoning. Just add a little bit of that into what's gonna be my egg wash for these eggplant. Now the eggplant I sliced earlier, they're about a 1/4 inch thick, dipped them in cold water for a couple minutes, and then dried them and then lightly salted them just a few minutes ago. So the salt will help bring out the extra moisture out of the eggplant. So here I've got some Italian breadcrumbs, some Parmesan cheese, and we are ready to go. So what I'm gonna do is just one by one, I'll take my eggplant, quick dip into the parm. I'm already grabbing my second one, flip each side, and then onto the paper. This is really fast, really simple. You know, as I said, I've always been a fan of eggplant in many forms, and eggplant parm is one of my favorite. But you know, there's a traditional, the purists way, which I totally respect. But this dish has evolved from, to be honest, times when I'm putting together what would be an eggplant parmesan, but then seeing some little leftover bits here and there from vegetables that I maybe used half of or 3/4 of in another recipe a few days before. They're still good. Let me just try throwing those in there. And over time I realized, yeah, this is the way I can create this dish. And I make this, you know, every couple weeks at the house. Everyone always seems to enjoy it. It's gotten to where I've had some people request them, you know, just like a full pan of them. I could just drop off at their house. They can enjoy it with their families. So it's just a great tasty dish. So what I'm gonna do though, to start, is I'm gonna oven fry these eggplants, and I'm almost done already. You can see I'm just putting them in, quick swirl around. You just want some of that breading on each side, and then right onto this cookie sheet with all the pieces. You know, it's on the top of the parchment paper there. So there we go, we're down to our last one already. We're covered. They can, you know, they can touch. They don't have to be fully separated. They're going to shrink a little bit once they get in the oven and start cooking. This breadcrumb mixture and Parmesan is going to get nice and crispy. And this is the first step to our eggplant bake is already done. I'm going to throw this in the oven at 350 degrees for 20 minutes, and then we'll be right back to put it together. All right, welcome back. Our eggplant is out of the oven, and we are ready to go. Like I said, it was in there for 20 minutes. Oven fried eggplant. It's golden, it looks delicious, it's ready to go. So I'm gonna start building this thing right now. So I've got all my ingredients ready to go. Like I said, this is just gonna be a mix of all types of vegetables along with the eggplant. So I've lightly greased the pan, and the first thing you always wanna do is put a little sauce along the bottom layer of sauce on the pan. And then I just wanna start dropping them in. Now as I pick them up, I can see they're firm, but I essentially could just eat these right now, pretty much. I'll bet they're perfectly cooked. They are definitely crispy. They've got a good texture to them, a little bounce still, which is exactly what I like, what I'm looking for there too. So I'm gonna put this in. Now, here I always just keep a knife handy because like in a situation like this, there's not room for a whole piece. No problem, I just cut one in half, drop 2 in there like that. And we're just moving along. So now I wanna put a little bit more sauce across the top. And this is just a basic store-bought marinara sauce. Nothing I made special. Just there's a lot of really good store-bought products out there. On something like this, it's such a fast, you know, fun dish to make. I don't put all that extra time into it. You know, unless I've made some sauce, I would use my own, obviously. But in this case, no need. So I'm gonna put some mozzarella. I'm gonna put a little Parmesan. And then my first layer of vegetables. So here I've got some fresh spinach. Just gonna sprinkle that in there. This will of course wilt down as it cooks, so it goes in fresh and raw just like that. It'll make a nice little cool layer when we cut into it at the end. You'll see the little green leafy wilted stuff. I've got some purple onion going in. Now I'm going to throw a little bit more sauce. Just kind of spoon it around. It'll spread as it cooks. Everything kind of starts settling. You'll end up with sauce and cheese pretty much everywhere throughout every bite of this thing. All right, and then some mushrooms. I've got these baby bellas sliced up real thin. Sprinkle a few of these in there. And again, a lot of times this recipe changes based on what I've got in the fridge, which is the case for these mushrooms and this spinach actually. The rest I kind of brought together for this recipe. Now we're gonna go another layer of eggplant. Just like this, just like this. Now here I've got just enough room in this pan to squeeze all my eggplant in there, just like that. Look at that. That's one whole eggplant, 2 layers. We've got veggies in the middle. I'm gonna sauce it up top. Just put a little pat on top of each one. There we go. Just like that. We're gonna go a little bit more mozzarella, like so. Of course, more Parmesan. Gotta stick to sort of the roots of this thing being an eggplant parm, right? So heavy on the parm, not that I wouldn't do it anyways. It's such a great, delicious, tasty, salty cheese. And that's about it. I'm gonna go ahead and just sprinkle a little bit of basil in there, just like that. And that is it. I'm gonna cover this up with foil. I'm gonna put it back in the oven. This time I'm gonna up it to 400 degrees. I'm gonna go for 20 minutes. I'm gonna remove the foil for about 5 to brown the top. Then we'll be back, we'll plate it up and show you what we did. All right, welcome back. The eggplant bake is out of the oven. Let's have a look. The big reveal. Oh man, look at this. I've been letting it chill for a few minutes, kind of settle. It's looking great. Everything is kind of gotten back down. I'm ready to slice into it. What I ended up doing was cooking it at 400 degrees for about 25 minutes. And then at the very end, I actually just uncovered it off the foil and kicked on the broiler for about 3 or 4 minutes. And that's why I got this beautiful kind of baked cheese layer over the top of it. You can see the basil kind of wound in there. Look at that when I lift it up. As promised, cheesy. Oh, I got half of a piece there. Let me do that again. Here we go. There it is. Eggplant, layers, vegetables. You can see the spinach. You can see everything all the way through. It's cheesy, melty, delicious goodness. I'm gonna go in for another one here. Yeah, and the thing is because the way I laid them in there, you don't really just cut straight into get an individual piece of eggplant. You're gonna get a full one off the top and then bits from the bottom of the other one. And that's okay, because again, it's all just cooked together. That one's trying to get off, it's trying to escape. It cannot escape. There it goes, there's the second piece. Looks delicious. Put our eggplant right there. Mushrooms are falling out the side. We've got spinach pouring out. I mean, everything is just looking delicious. Now, of course, add a little more cheese. We don't have enough in there, right? So I'll just hit it with a little bit more of this grated parm. Grated parm. It's still warm enough. That'll actually start to melt in a little bit. And then just last but not least, a little bit more of that fresh basil in there. There we go. Just like that. This is my version of an eggplant parm with a little extra stuff. That's why I call it the eggplant bake. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. I certainly enjoyed preparing this dish for you, sharing a little bit about what I do in the kitchen. As always, I encourage you to give it a try if you've never explored all this different types of vegetables around your eggplant parm. Go for it. I mean, there's no rules. It's all delicious. It's all healthy, fresh stuff. It's good for you, and so just give it a try. And let me know actually how you think. If you try this or any of my other recipes, I love hearing from people. So you can get me on stevecookstuff.com. My email's there. Also, my social media is there. You can see this recipe, all my recipes. There's a book coming out soon with these recipes and more. So I look forward to that, being available for everyone. And again, just thanks for joining in, and I look forward to seeing you next time. I'm gonna try this. Oh yeah, just cuts right through.